Hi, this is Boston City Councilor Lydia Edwards. Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
My name is Winston Gier. I'm a seminar alum. Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
I'm Samantha Perlman, and welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
Hi, I'm Yoli Chanfakari. Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
I'm Stephanie Martins. Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
Welcome to the room and the table.
Hi everyone, I'm Sonia Lane. I'm an advisory board member. Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
I'm Rodley Louis-Jean. Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
Welcome to In the Room at the Table.
Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
Welcome to In the Room and At the Table.
Raise a cup up for all my day ones. 2 middle fingers for the haters. Let's only get in greater. Straight up from nothing we go. Higher than the highest skyscraper. No little league we major. The proof is in the paper. We put the good in the good in the good life. We put the good in the good in the good life. We put the bad in the past. Now we alright.
It's really been an awesome experience, and I've been really humbled and grateful and thankful for the candor and compassion and just the heart that everybody brings to this, and it really means a lot, and I'm very grateful that I was able to be a part of this.
After this class, I'm really feeling re-engaged and inspired and motivated. So I just want to thank you all. You know, I'm feeling that way both because I think of all that we've learned and the tools that I've gained, and just because, you know, seeing the passion that I've seen from all of our speakers and from you all, it's been so great to see, you know, the different issues that you all are working on and that you care about. It's been just really, really inspirational.
You know, being part of a special group of, you know, over 1,500, you know, that means a lot to be around, and this seminar being able to uphold that. And hopefully, you know, there's another 1,500 people that go through this, and we're looking back and you know, praising those people.
2 middle fingers for the haters. Let's only get in greater. Straight up from nothing we go. Higher than the highest skyscraper. No little league we major. The proof is in the paper. You know, we put the good in the good in the good life.
The good life.
We put the good in the good in the good life.
I said the good life.
The bad in the past. Now we alright.
We alright.
Damn right, from the bottom we rise so high. Now we cutting skylights. We building an empire. We owe it all to each other. Just look at us right now. Destined, we so good right now. Legend, here's to you and I. Raise them to the sky. We put the good in the good in the good life. We put the good in the good in the good life. We put the bad in the past. Now we alright.
You know,
We put the good in the good in the good life.
The good life.
We put the good in the good in the good
I said the
life.
good
We put the
life.
bad in the past. Now we alright.
We alright. The good life.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, what a video and what a year this has been. My name is Monse Hood, and I'm a Spring 2020 graduate from the seminar. My experience with the seminar started long ago when I was looking for a place that would provide political training for people like me. I had worked with politicians in my home country of Ecuador through marketing campaigns, and later moved to Boston, where I continue advising and empowering the Latino community to vote and take action in local politics. English is not my first language, as you all can tell. I was always hesitant to apply to any political training, but then is when I found the seminar. The seminar's job was to help minorities and even people who were not born in this country to understand the basics of running for office. I did a training in the middle of the pandemic via Zoom. It was challenging, but it was so worth it. I learned so much about the way things function in Boston, about true leaders, and most of all, I learned about friendship. During the confinement, we became sisters and brothers. We reconnected with our feelings and our desires to keep helping the community one way or another. In the next months, I moved to Southern California, but little I knew that thanks to this training as part of my resume, I was called to be part of the International Friendship Commission of the city I live in Southern California, in San Diego County actually. The seminar is the best gift you can have to build up a whole network of friends and future leaders. It's also an important part of your resume in case you don't have any career in politics or any degree related to politics. I enjoy every minute of it, and also enjoy the wonderful speakers, and I still go back in Zoom once in a while to listen and keep learning, because I'm still learning. The seminar will be your political family one day. But enough of what the seminar has done for me. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Leverett Wing, director of the Commonwealth Seminar. Leverett is known in communities as a civic engagement innovator, a bridge builder, a community mobilizer. I'm told that Mayor Michelle Wood's sister, Cheryl, once even called him a vigilante feminist. Through his knowledge and patience, he guides thousands of aspiring leaders to be strong and confident to run in local politics. He's a father, he's a friend, a mentor, a community leader, whatever you want to call him. We're grateful for his leadership in the seminar. What an honor it is for me, and being so far away, to introduce Leverett Wing.
Thank you for that generous introduction, Monse. Thank you so much for joining us from sunny California, not jealous at all. And thank all of you for joining us today for our luncheon in the room and at the table. We're excited that all of you are here. We're excited for the program that we're about to provide, and we're grateful for all of you for all of your support. Thank you for joining us virtually. You know, originally we were going to do this in person. Back in June, when things were running smoothly, people were getting back out there and having in-person events, we said, we're going to have in the room and at the table in November in person. And then August and September rolled around, and the virus started picking up a bit, and so we said, you know, we're going to do it virtually. And then October rolled around, and everybody was doing things in person, and we couldn't plan an in-person event in a month. But next year, we're planning on having in the room and at the table in person again. Before we get to our program and our three incredible honorees, please let me take a moment to thank our generous sponsors for the evening. Thank you to our event supporters, CVS, GLAD, and GBH World. Our seminar friend sponsor, Tufts Health Plan Foundation. Our Pay It Forward sponsor, the University of Massachusetts Office of Community Partnerships. Our presenting sponsor, Eastern Bank. And our two foundational funders, the Barr Foundation and the Cummings Foundation. Thank you for your generosity. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the President and CEO of Eastern Bank's Charitable Foundation, Nancy Huntington Stager. Nancy led the Human Resources Division at Eastern Bank for over 20 years and has been a longtime champion of diversity, civil rights, and inclusion causes. We're incredibly grateful to Eastern Bank for their constant support of the Commonwealth Seminar. I don't think that there's an organization in the Northeast that hasn't been touched by Eastern Bank's generosity. Please welcome my friend and a longtime supporter of our community's causes, Nancy Huntington Stager.
I'm Nancy Huntington Stager, President and CEO of the Eastern Bank Foundation. Thanks for that introduction, Leverett. I'm delighted to welcome you all into the room and at the table. All of us at Eastern are pleased to continue our sponsorship of the Commonwealth Seminar, especially this year's Homecoming Week. And although we're virtual again this year, this program remains an important opportunity for participants to have access to decision makers and open the doors to better understanding on how government actually works. It's always vital for decision makers to listen to the voices across our diverse communities. And during this pandemic in particular, It certainly feels more difficult than it has been in the past to have these voices heard. The Commonwealth Seminar provides an informative and valuable way to connect. Eastern has a long track record of advocating for and supporting efforts to build equity and inclusion across and within our communities. At the Eastern Bank Foundation, we believe that change to centuries-old social and economic hierarchies and systems of oppression can lead to greater equity in our communities when we invest first by listening to the lived experiences of our neighbors and then by partnering in the solutions. It is this commitment to honoring and trusting our communities that guides the Eastern Bank Foundation, not only in what and why we fund, but also how we do it. And for everyone here this afternoon, thank you for joining in this Commonwealth Seminar today. Thank you for joining us all for good, today and always. Please enjoy the program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jaylee Pereira, and I am a recent graduate of the Massachusetts Commonwealth Seminar, class of spring 2021. I am also a recent graduate of the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and I'm looking to use my pre-medical biology major and Asian American Studies minor to pursue a field to serve communities of color through medical access and raising mental health awareness in our communities. During my time at UMass Boston, in my final year, I had the opportunity to become the undergraduate student government student body vice president. Through this experience, I saw the lack of knowledge our student body had of how our student government operated, what exactly was controlled, and the power the organization had to make drastic changes that would deeply impact the everyday life of students. When I was given the opportunity to attend this seminar, I had hoped to attain the knowledge that would help me become involved in politics with more confidence to change that narrative. The expectations I had for the seminar were far surpassed. The weeks flew by as we entered the seminar as strangers, but left knowing personal stories, projects, and future aspirations of one another. These bonds created and the opportunity I was given inspire me to give back, to help create more opportunities for the door to be opened and to welcome more folks into the Commonwealth Seminar family. This afternoon, I have the incredible privilege of presenting the Commonwealth Seminar's Civic Engagement Amplifier Award to a special person and a great organization of which I am quite fond of. Cynthia Orellana is the Director of the Office of Community Partnerships at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Partnering with the Commonwealth Seminar, Cynthia and UMass have enrolled nearly 50 students in the seminar, introducing undergrads, graduate, and PhD students at UMass Boston to the ins and outs of accessing and influencing decision makers in government. So many of us take our lessons to try to make our communities better, more equitable places, amplifying the seminar's impact. I have personally taken the knowledge the seminar has given me to become involved in local town government and helping allow me to support and educate others through their journeys in local or university governments. I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity which Cynthia and UMass Boston has offered me. And that is why it gives me tremendous pleasure to present the Commonwealth Seminar's Civic Engagement Amplifier Award to Cynthia Orellana.
Saludos, greetings everyone. Thank you, Jaylee, for the kind introduction, and a special thank you to my friend and co-conspirator Leverett and the Commonwealth Seminar for recognizing my personal mission and commitment through the Civic Engagement Amplifier Award. I am so humbled to be with you for this purpose today. Again, I'm Cynthia Orellana, and I serve as the Director of the Office of Community Partnerships at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. My office works across the university and with community-based organizations, public agencies, residents, and civic and business leaders to identify, strengthen, and support the creation of collaborative community university partnerships that advance our mission as Boston's public research university. I have the opportunity to work alongside amazing, diverse talent at UMass Boston. And since I serve very much as a facilitator and connector in my role, I get to meet folks like Jaylee, who graduated during this pandemic while serving as vice president of the student body and participated in the seminar her senior year as part of our partnership with the seminar. While Leverett and I go back nearly a decade through our work in public service, and with local communities. Our seminar partnership started in 2018 thanks to Leverett's vision and belief in the value of creating opportunities for students attending public colleges and universities, so that these students can bring their wealth of knowledge, experiences, and eagerness for learning to the seminar, and be part of contributing to the mission of the seminar to address inequities in state government by opening doors that for far too long have been shut tight and gate-kept. And since 2018, we have had 24 UMass Boston students and recent alumni participate in the Commonwealth Seminar, and had originally started with just 2 students. And the cohorts of students participating in each seminar session have grown significantly over time. Thanks to the seminar's commitment to UMass Boston's community, we've also attracted a very special scholarship for women at UMass Boston to participate in the seminar. Leverett, the seminar, and I share some core principles, including the significance of bridge building and revolutionizing how we realize access to resources, opportunities, and relationships that are empowering and that amplify the assets of people of color in marginalized communities across Massachusetts. We understand that we cannot do this alone as individuals, nor as singular organizations. For true change and the redistribution of access, resources, opportunities, and power to occur, it will take a collective effort across people and organizations. And as my Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley says, the people closest to the pain should be closest to the power. And so I'm excited to see our partnership and our friendship continue to grow, because at the end of the day, it's about centering the experiences of minoritized people, and yes, being in the room and getting a seat at the table, but it's also about creating new spaces and building new tables that lift up justice. I hope that all of you enjoy the rest of your afternoon at this event. And I want to thank the Commonwealth Seminar again for this honor and for all that you do. Let's keep building.
Hi everybody, my name is Lily Tang and I use she, her pronouns. I'm currently the Director of Outreach for the Commonwealth Seminar. My time with the seminar started back in high school when I joined the 6-week program. Later, I went on to intern for the organization, and now I currently serve as the Director of Outreach. Something that's been at the heart and soul of this organization's work is the importance of access. As a first-gen college graduate, daughter of immigrants, and somebody who grew up in a low-income family, access to government was something that felt unattainable. The seminar really changed that perspective and gave me the tools and education needed to learn how to create change in my own community. As such, I'm super excited to present the Access Amplifier Award. This year's recipient goes to Boston Harbor Now, with the goal of working to reestablish Boston as one of the world's truly great coastal cities. Boston Harbor Now also works with the City of Boston and waterfront communities to prepare for sea level rise and climate resiliency. Boston Harbor Now is also a hero to underserved communities throughout Greater Boston by encouraging people to explore Boston's waterfront and islands through promoting and hosting hundreds of free and low-cost events. Through its Community Cruise series, Boston Harbor Now offers thousands of people from traditionally underserved communities the opportunity to enjoy a night on the harbor. Its mission and work are a perfect match for the seminar, and so it gives me great pleasure to present our Access Amplifier Award to Boston Harbor Now. Thank you for all the work that you do, and congratulations.
I am Kathy Abbott. I'm the CEO and President of Boston Harbor Now. On behalf of all of the staff, the board, and all the supporters of Boston Harbor Now, we are thrilled to receive the seminar's Access Amplifier Award and the recognition in recognition of our work in building and promoting a more equitable and accessible Boston Harbor for all. Over the past 5 years, we've connected nearly 250,000 kids and families to their harbor and to the Boston Harbor Islands National and State Park through our free and low-cost access programs. Our work with Leverett and the seminar and the AAPI community actually launched one of our most successful models for connecting people with their blue and green public open spaces. That's been so critical, always has been, but has been even more so in the recent pandemic. In fact, if you haven't been on board one of our community cruises, I'm officially inviting you to join us next summer to experience your harbor. We look forward to continuing our work with Leverett, the seminar, and the communities in the region to ensure that everyone has proper access and opportunities to enjoy one of your greatest public resources. Thank you again to Commonwealth Seminar for this honor and to everybody attending today's In the Room and at the Table event. Thank you again very, very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Colette Phillips. First, let me say congratulations to my very dear, long-standing friend, Leverett Wing, who has done a phenomenal job with the Commonwealth Seminar. As an immigrant myself, I can think of no organization that has worked harder to ensure that immigrants and people of color are civically engaged. And I know that Leverett must be very proud because so many graduates, when they leave the Commonwealth Seminar, decide that they want to step into public service. And as the late Shirley Chisholm says, service is the price we pay for taking up space here on this earth. Congratulations to my friend Tanisha Sullivan on being honored with the Founders Award, which truly embodies the spirit and the commitment and dedication of Tanisha. I know of no one who works harder to advocate for the underserved and to give a voice and to ensure that we not only have a seat at the table, but we also have a voice. And truly, for anyone who knows the founders of the Commonwealth Seminar, Joe Barrera and Jarrett Barrios, two people who I admire and who are role models when it comes to equity, diversity, and inclusion, would applaud the Commonwealth Seminar for awarding the Founders Award to Tanisha. She has been such a great voice here in Boston and in the Commonwealth for those of us who often are not invited in the room and whose voices are not heard. When Tanisha is in the room, we know that she speaks boldly for all of us, and she is not afraid to call out and to call in those who need to be called out. So thank you for all that you do, and congratulations to you, and congratulations to the Commonwealth Seminar for the work they do to ensure we all have a voice in our civic engagement. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Colette, for such a warm introduction. You know, it's only fitting that you would give the introduction because, Colette, you're responsible for introducing me and Leverett, and of course, Leverett is responsible for introducing me to the Commonwealth Seminar. And so we're truly full circle. Thank you again for the warm introduction. You are truly a gem here in the Commonwealth. I also want to thank, of course, the Commonwealth Seminar family for having me here today and for the honor that you are giving to me. I so greatly appreciate it. It is a bright light during a time when I think we need more bright light shining. It's been an incredibly tough year, and so this definitely means a lot to me. I want to especially thank my good friend Leverett Wing for his friendship, his partnership, his counsel. And I want to take an opportunity to really lift up the founders of Commonwealth Seminar, Joel Barrera and Senator Jarrett Barrios, for your vision that is truly living on. You have borne good fruit, my friends. And so thank you for having not only an idea, but actually moving that idea into something tangible. The Commonwealth Seminar is truly an important part of our civic engagement ecosystem here in the Commonwealth, and your vision is an important part of that, coupled with the leadership of Leverett. So thank you both very, very much. In the room and at the table in 2021, what can I say? There is so much to celebrate, and so I definitely want to pause, reflect, look up, acknowledge the progress that we've made, because for so many years, particularly in the fight for civil rights for all people, it has been about getting in the room, right? Because some of these rooms are very difficult to get into. Some of these spaces, some of these conversations are very difficult to get into. And here we are in 2021 with, I think, certainly some things that we need to celebrate. I mean, from Western Mass to and through Worcester, Boston, down to the Cape and Islands, from the North Shore to the South Coast, we have seen progress. We've seen greater representation within our governments, at municipal, state, and federal levels. We've seen more inclusion in terms of diverse representation of people, but we've also seen more inclusion with respect to more diverse and inclusive policies being advanced, policies that take into consideration the different experiences that we are all living here in the Commonwealth. So there's certainly much to celebrate, and I think it's important, especially for those of us who are deeply steeped and rooted in civil rights work and advocacy work and civic engagement work, to make sure that we are being intentional about acknowledging progress. Now, that being said, we still have a lot of work to do. We have a lot more work to do, but our history shows us that for no matter how hard it might be, for however long the road may be, progress is being made. And so I do want to acknowledge the progress that has been made. And with that, I want to thank so many of you who are gathered here today, who are part of the Commonwealth Seminar family, who are doing the work. Thank you for doing the work. And I hope and pray that you will continue to do so. And together, we will be able to strengthen our Commonwealth and to bring about a more inclusive society here in Massachusetts, where we can all truly live, work, and thrive. In the room and at the table, we are indeed in the room, and we are seated around many tables. But in 2021, I have to say that it is not enough to simply be in the room or at the table. We have to, at this moment, ensure that as a result of us being in the room, that something is different, that conversations are changing, that the issues that are being amplified are issues that are more inclusive, that progress is collective, not individualistic. I think it is important for us to continue to ask ourselves, not take for granted, but to continue to ask ourselves, what is different as a result of us being in the room? What is different as a result of you being in the room, as the result of me being in the room? Is it status quo? Or are people shifting in their seats because they know that that there's going to be change? Are people comfortable as we're entering these spaces because they have no concern about things changing? Or are people, curious to see what is going to be different now that we are in the room? I actually believe that first of all, I'm a firm believer in this great American democratic experiment. And I do believe that in order for America to truly move forward, in order for us to truly, as a country, fulfill the promise of America, and that in order for us here in the Commonwealth to deliver on the promises of the Commonwealth, which include, of course, peace, justice, equality, freedom, but also as a Commonwealth includes prosperity. For all of that to happen, I believe that we have to collectively challenge ourselves in these rooms to be present, and to be intentional about really holding ourselves and others and systems accountable for being more inclusive. I think that's really important. And I also think it's important that as we're entering these spaces, that we do give ourselves a little bit of grace, recognizing that, you know, in many instances, you know, this is still very new. We are not that far removed from the civil rights movement. In fact, I would argue that we're still in the civil rights movement. We're just in a different phase of it, right? And so some of this is new. Some of these spaces are new. And so I just encourage us collectively, speaking to myself too, right? That I encourage us not to fear entering these rooms, whatever type of room it may be, whether it's a physical space or it's, you know, or it's symbolically a room, or if it's a new role, right? I think it's important for us to remember that as part of the Commonwealth Seminar family, whether you have graduated from one of the Commonwealth Seminar programs or you have been adopted into the family like me, that we are really building upon a firm foundation. We have been prepared. We have been trained. We've been prepared to enter these spaces. And when we do so, we're not entering these spaces alone, but really bringing with us the collective experiences of those who are a part of the seminar. There are very few people who are more trained, more prepared than those who have gone through Commonwealth Seminar training. And so be confident and fear not entering these spaces. And with that, as you are entering these spaces, as you're continuing to enter these spaces, bring with you a determination to fulfill a collective purpose in helping to move our Commonwealth forward. Right? Like, bring with you into the space collective purpose. Knowing that as you are in spaces, as we are entering spaces, we are bringing others with us. And by virtue of us being there and using our voices to amplify the hopes, the dreams, the experiences of so many others, by virtue of us being there, we are collectively seen and heard. And so I want to encourage you not just to be present. I want to encourage us not just to be present physically and then fade into the wall, but to be present and to make our presence known, to make our presence felt, and to be secure and confident in that. And as we're in these rooms and now at these tables and those we're in now and those that are to come, I think it is important also for us to get a better understanding, a better grounding in what it means to truly be at the table, right? This is not just about a physical seat, right? It's not just about, oh, where am I at the physical table? It really, when we have a seat at the table, what that means, right, is that we have the ability to influence, we have the ability to transform, we have the ability to advance policies and programmatic solutions that can potentially transform lives for the better, that can improve quality of life for our communities writ large, right? This is not this is not about positioning, it is about influence. And so the question becomes, are you really seated at the table, right? And you know you're seated at the table when outcomes change, when outcomes are changing as a result of you being in the space, as a result of us being in the space, right? If everything stays the same, if we're in the room and everything stays the same but for us being there, we're not at the table. Okay, right? This is about truly being at the table so that we are helping to influence outcomes that lead to a more inclusive economy, that we are helping to influence and advance policy solutions that make a difference for our children sitting in public school seats across the Commonwealth. This is about a seat at the table that brings about transformative change and understanding and awareness about the state of our climate, and a deeper commitment to climate resilience and an understanding of how that impacts all of us, right? Like, what is different? What is influence? What is changing as a result of us being at the table? And so when I think about being at the table, I think it's important to remember two things in particular. One, this is not about position. Being at the table is not about position. It is about positioning. Two, being at the table is not about who we perceive to hold power. It is about who is moving in power. In fact, I might argue that some of the most influential seats are the ones that are not seen, right? While others are jockeying for position, while others are jockeying for title, while others are jockeying for the photo opportunity, the most influential seats around the table are not seen. The most influential seats around the table are felt. They are experienced. This is not about position. It's not about holding power. It is about positioning, our collective advancement, and it is about moving in our collective power, our seat at the table. So my friends, as you continue your work, your very important work in and around the Commonwealth or wherever you may be, I hope that as you're entering these spaces, new and old, as you are adjusting your seats at so many tables, that you continue to ask yourself and others, what is different because I'm here? What is different because we are here? Are our voices being amplified? Are more people being able to experience an improved quality of life? Are more of us being able to fulfill America's promise? Are more of us being able to actively contribute to this Commonwealth? In the room and at the table in 2021, we celebrate, we look up, we acknowledge our progress. In the room and at the table as we move forward into 22 is really about us double downing on ensuring our collective advancement, holding ourselves and others accountable for forward progress, ensuring that we are entering these spaces with confidence, fearless, using our voices to help ensure that we are all moving forward. And so I thank you again for having me. I thank you so very much for this honor. And I look forward to continuing to work with you. I look forward to continuing to be in this vineyard we call the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, to help strengthen her, to help move her forward, and to help ensure that we are all enjoying all of the benefits that this Commonwealth has to offer. Thank you.
And that's it. Thank you, Tanisha, for those inspiring words. Thank you to all of our honorees. Thank you to all of our alumni presenters and MCs. And thank you to all of you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our In the Room and At the Table program. And if you enjoyed what you saw and what you heard today, please continue to support the Commonwealth Seminar. Over 75% of our students require some sort of financial aid. And it's because of donors like you that they continue to have access to our program. So thank you for your continued support, and please continue to support the Commonwealth Seminar. Hopefully we'll see you all once again next year in person for their next In the Room and At the Table. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll hope to and have a wonderful holiday season.
Raise a cup up for all my day ones. 2 middle fingers for the haters. Life's only getting greater. Straight up from nothing we go. Higher than the highest skyscraper. No little league we major. The proof is in the paper. We put the good in the good in the good life. We put the good in the good in the good life. We put the bad in the past. Now we alright.
It's just, it's really been an awesome experience, and I've been really humbled and grateful and thankful for the candor and compassion and just the heart that everybody brings to this, and just it really means a lot. And I'm very grateful that I was able to be a part of this.
After this class, I'm really feeling re-engaged and inspired and motivated. So I just want to thank you all. You know, I'm feeling that way both because I think of all that we've learned and the tools that I've gained, and just because, you know, seeing the passion that I've seen from all of our speakers and from you all. It's been so great to see, you know, the different issues that you all are working on and that you care about. It's been just really, really inspirational.
You know, being part of a special group of, you know, over 1,500, you know, that means a lot to be around, and this seminar being able to uphold that. And hopefully, you know, there's another 1,500 people that go through this, and we're looking back and you know, praising those people.
Life's only getting greater. Straight up from nothing we go. Higher than the highest skyscraper. No little league we major. The proof is in the paper.
You know,
we put the good in the good in the good life.
The good
we
life.
put the good in the good in the good life.
I said the good
we
life.
Put the bad in the past. Now we alright.
We alright.
Damn right, from the bottom we rise so high. Now we cutting skylines. We building an empire. We owe it all to each other. Just look at us right now. Destined, we so good right now. Legend, here's to you.